Today we're going to do the install video for an FJ Cruiser. This is the standard head unit here, not too much going on. Obviously you do have this at the top here, which is your reverse camera. Small image comes up on there, so we'll get that coming up on like both things today. So basically obviously we've got like steering wheel controls on the steering wheel here, and that's about it. Now this fascia does come in the kit. We do only have it in the color it comes in. It is smooth plastic, so it is possible to paint like our one with just normal plastic paint, and it does come out quite nice, so some customers do that.
Hey guys, today this is just what's in the kit for an FG Cruiser, Toyota FG Cruiser. Obviously we've got the head unit. This fascia here is the old fascia, it actually doesn't fit most models, so we will now have a new fascia included. You have some SPI connector and some like wiring cutters, USB. This is your USB retention cable, your reverse camera cable, GPS antenna, Wi-Fi antenna. We've got a dual USB port system there. This is your power harness, trimming tool, OBD2 scan tool, and a reverse camera if you want it, or a car rear view camera. If you didn't have one already, we do include one in the box. Alright, to start we've just got 2 Phillips screws under these side trims here. Pop off both of those. Phillips screwdriver, so if you feel under here you will find them. So you just want to take those out of both sides. Then what you want to do is you want to grab this trim here on the side, just from the bottom of your finger will actually stick in there, and just give it a pull up. You'll see the whole trim will just clip off like that. So obviously do that on both sides. So it comes off fairly easy. Main part here, you've just got a couple of screws here you need to undo. 1, 2. I'll worry about getting them muddled up. Just put your hands on each side and just give it a gentle pull, and you'll see that whole sort of fascia part will obviously pop off. We have a few plugs in the back here, just push down and pull out on the top. 1, 2, sometimes just need to give them a bit of like a wiggle, and the third one there. So that's that whole piece off, and you can see what we have we have 1, 2, 3. They came from all the aircon down the bottom there. Now we got 10 more bolts. So they're all out, and this is obviously just going to pull straight out. And in the back again you've got the same, and pull them all out. So in this one here there was 4 white plugs and an antenna plug. So it's the old head unit out there. And then obviously these are the plugs that. But the first thing we do is just grab our ease adapter kit here and plug in all the wires that we can. They can only fit in the plugs they fit into, so you can't go too wrong. And you will be left with one left over in this case. It's not being used, which is this one here, you can see. You can also see this wasn't actually plugged in the back of the head unit, but there is an extra 8-pin one here. All those plugged in, then we just want to put the main 20-pin plug in, and the only other plug you want to put in is can get it to reach the antenna plug. Now we just do this just to test to make sure we're getting a lot of power. Car comes on, head unit powers up, which is a good thing. What we are testing is that we have like power and we have sound. Steering wheel controls are working. So what we'll do here is just go like radio. So the radio is working. The steering wheel controls aren't working, but what you can do here is just go to all your apps, scroll to the end here, and you'll see the wheel key study. Just press one on the controller. I press sort of the volume up, and just like save and exit. This is me just doing like 1.
Don't know her name, don't need to know her name.
And I can see it works.
But please pray for her. This is vision.
So that's what I wanted to do there.
You get to choose your favourite.
So that's all good, we're powering up. We've got that working, we've got the controls working. Oh, now we can carry on with the install. We've got our original unit, like fascia we're taking out here. Yellow clips need to come off. You can just obviously pop a screwdriver under here and I'll flick them off, just make sure you catch them, they don't go too far. And they clip on here, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can use the 4 clips from there. Then obviously this main aircon unit has to come off, and these 2 ribbon cables as well. On here you just got a tab at the top you bend back, and a tab on the side, and then that pops off. Then you got this whole sort of board here. So obviously our board's been held in, if you can see, by these little tabs on either side. Obviously this whole thing can come out if you want to. That's just held in by a couple of tabs on either side like that. So obviously we have our buttons here. But what we want to do is we just want to unplug this one. So what we want to do here is we just want to pull these trim tools, if you like. Then you obviously got the same at the other end down here. Preferably not break the one. I just broke the one there, so don't put too much force on it. Isn't important, so we don't actually need it anymore. And then you can see we've taken out this here, and what we actually want out of here is just this, like a ribbon cable. So we can pop that out. I'll pop them open. You'll see how that's just come open now. And then once that's out, just get out the ribbon cable, a little tug, and we do the same one for the other one here. Again, you got your tab up the top, tab down the bottom here on the side. Plastic part comes off. Again, it's the same thing. That makes it easier. Just put a little bit of leverage on there. White piece there. There you go. It's come off again. Slide out that clip while I'm pulling a little black clip at the front here out, and then so you got the aircon down the bottom here. You got 1, 2, 3 clips on the top, 3 clips on the bottom, and you got a screw here that has to come off, just like a Phillips screw. Then you just want to, you can actually pop it out with your fingers and just pop in the clips off one by one, and you'll see that it'll just come out hopefully. That screws out, and that's the 6 clips are out, and this whole unit will actually pull off. You will need to give it a bit of a pull at this end, because this here at the front here you can see actually goes through to the knob. So just give that a bit of a pull, gently get a little tug, and you'll find it will pop off. Then we've got our whole panel here. So again, you can unplug this. Same method as these are built just the same as the other ones here, with the little clips on them, so you can go through and pop them off. So now this is here. If you just press from the front, you'll see there's 2 little clips at either end here. So obviously 2 on this end, that'll clip out, and 2 on the other end, they'll clip out, and the whole board will come out just like that. So pretty much, in your knob you can see that's where you have to give a bit of a pull on the other end. So that's everything taken off, and just obviously our clips need to come off as well. Again, like I said before, you can just get a screwdriver or one of your trim tools under these and pop these clips off like so, and they just slide onto the other one here. Clip them on. So go around and do that for all 4. So now you're just going to go and do everything basically like we just done in reverse. Slot your panel down to here. It's the same as the one you just took off, so it's got the clips in the end here, and you'll see it'll just nicely clip in. That's fairly easy, like that. So once that's down here, you'll see, just trying to place this down, 2 ribbon cables. They are both different sizes, so you can't go too wrong. So you just want to grab the ones that are coming from our head unit. You got 2. Obviously this one's the smaller one, so it's going to go over here to this side, and tuck it in. I preferably I like to sort of tuck them in here and then plug it in, and I leave them under here because they're quite protected. And the same for the other side, you can pop it in where it's going to come through, and take it to the other side. So you just want to sort of make sure these are protected and they don't get damaged. So again, these things do come off the same. Pull the little connectors off, and that pulls out. So this one obviously is not like that one, it's the bigger one. So we take the bigger one across. So when you think about it, you just think how this is going to sit back down. So we want it to run in front of there. So we want it to run it's going to come up through here and run down here, so like that. Yeah, I'm just going to make sure the black bit is all pulled all the way out and slide it in with the blue at the top. Right, just give it a good push in. This becomes a bit of a pain holding this, just again plug that off. Sorry, I should have done that from the start. So you'll feel that clip in, and then you want to push the black clips back in. Just to hold it in there, and you can see that's in now. Again on the other side, pull those two black clips on either side off. The old one comes off. This one's going to obviously run through here and all the way over. Again, follow the old one, have blue on top. So it slides in, make sure your black clips are obviously up. And just push it in. And you'll feel it just sit into place, and then push your clips down. It's done. Now we can go and put this back on top. So obviously you plug it back in, push it in, push the black clips down, making sure, you can see this one's started to pop out, making sure that your ribbon cables do not get jammed or caught anywhere. So just going around having a look that they're all coming in where they're supposed to come in, out where they're supposed to come out. And again, making sure your tabs in the bottom are on the outside. And just pushing this down into the clips, same way it sort of came out. Like so. Obviously the clips on the top side as well. And now that's all in. There we have that. Obviously our knob needs to go back on the front. Just put it in where it can fit in. It can only fit where the keys, obviously let it fit. Now that's all done like that. And just don't forget the clips obviously. So next we're going to talk about the factory reverse camera here. So we can keep this working and we can get it coming down to the head unit and the rear view mirror. Obviously when we're going to put it on this camera's however old now, the technology is pretty old. When we're going to put it on our big head unit, it's going to look quite bad quality. So we will look at bringing out an update that fits in here straight into here and hopefully hooks to the same plug, which will allow you to have a 1080p camera, which will look good in our screens. But what you need to do here is you need to just pop off the kick panel. So lift up this, unscrew that screw at the back here, and this plastic kick panel will pull off. This is what the plug should look like here. Different years could be different, but I think 2010 to 2014 is probably going to have something like this. But anyway, on here you have, so basically as you look at it on the top row here, you want to use, if you go like one, well if you use the big one as one here, 2, 3, like 4, so pins, like so 3 and 4, which is a red and a white one. So you can see here, it is, I'll get these out of the way, these two. Also like a white with a grey stripes and a red with grey stripes, or grey dashes, so I should say. So hopefully you can see with that going into there in the top. So we need to tap into those two there with a positive and like a negative to like an RCA. I will include these like fuse taps in the kit anyway. So a fuse cap's pretty easy, just slide the wire in, crimp them down with some pliers. And on the bottom side of the plug you need a red with a yellow stripe one, so hopefully you can see that one here. So that's coming out of there, and you can see we've tapped into there. So that's going to give us the These like a top two here are like a negative and positive for like a video feed, and on the bottom one is a reverse trigger, so just a 12 volt when you're in reverse. So we've just tapped into those. We're just using an extension cable that comes with our reverse camera here. So obviously we've tapped into it here, and then we've hooked into a yellow RCA here, and then like these two wires here, we have just put you just like using the positive one on the other negative one is not like needed. Then if you come back up here, you can see we've plugged the yellow RCA into our cam in, which is the grey plug down the end here, and then the green one here just has to go to our orange and black coming off of the main like harness that does say reverse in on it. So that one there, these two will join together, and that gives us our reverse camera coming up. So just like I'll hook all that up, I'll power the unit up, just like sit it here like we have this one sitting here. Put it like in reverse, and just like make sure you are getting the reverse feed coming in. And that's that means you got the reverse camera coming in on the screen and up in the head unit. Again, it's going to be bad quality because the camera's 10 years old. So we will look in the future, hopefully getting a 1080p camera that can fit in that same spot. Again, a cable here for the reverse camera. If you just obviously pop off the glove box, just pull each side in, and you'll see these little things pop down. You can just run like a wire up below here, and tuck it out the top here. Now it's going to cover the extra cables you have to put in. So obviously we've got the main harness hooked up. We put our reverse camera in, and we've got that tapped down into here. We've obviously run that up into here. Then you're going to have two USBs and an external mic. You don't have to run the external mic. You can just, I'll leave it out, but it does come with one. That plugs into the auxiliary in the back there. What we actually will do in the kit is we will include a USB plug to fit in here, because you'll see like these ones are different sizes to like this one. This here is the same size as a Prado, so I will include a dual USB in here. So one side of them I'll plug into one of our ones here, so into like the Android Auto like label one here. You can see here Android Auto, so it'll just extend that and give like a tidy up sort of place I like to put it. And the other one's a quick charge 3.0, so which is this little thing here. You want to get it at the front under the dash, clear view of the sky, no steel above it, so you can actually put your hand all the way at the back and stick it upside down underneath the dash like that. If this one doesn't have it, but like some will have like a rectangle like antenna, which is like the Wi-Fi antenna that can just float in the back here. Third USB is the purple one. You can obviously like plug that in if you're using one of our dash cams, or in this case here we're putting in a 4G modem, so we're going to put that in there and probably put a 4G modem up the top here, again somewhere we saw like the GPS was, so it gets a bit of a good view of the sky. So this customer also got a 4G dongle, so obviously this top slides off, the SIM tucks in there. So grab an extra SIM, put it on prepaid, or just add a SIM to your plan. Normally costs you $5 a month. Obviously this here pops off. We have like USB at the end. You want this to sit probably up under the dash somewhere with a clear view of the windscreen, sort of like the GPS. It works like your phone, so if your phone gets reception in your car, this is going to get reception. So in this day and age, they are always pretty good. Then what you want to do is just want to ensure the head unit's on the latest update, as we did release a new update. Then you can plug it into like any of the USB ports. So we're just going to plug it into the extra one here, which is the one that has a pink dial on it. So you just I'll plug that in. So you just want to plug it into like the USB port here that says free 4G USB. Plugged in. It's solid green now. And if you look on a head unit, you can see we've got 4G up here and some bars. Quick test you can do is you can just go into Chrome here as a browser, and just don't have to sign in, but you can just type in some random things here and just go and search internet, and you can see obviously that came up. and this unit now has internet, so that's fine. So you still probably mount that. I'm going to just use some double-sided tape and I'll mount it up back here underneath the dash, so it'll end up sort of sitting under here. Basically it's all wired up here now. You don't have to go over the top with taping, but just tidy it up a bit, because obviously when the wires just sit in tucked down. Obviously see in the back here we've got our extra USB, which I've just actually taped up. We'll just leave it around the back, or you can drop it down somewhere so you can access it easily later on. Can be handy if you want to add one of our tyre pressure sensors as we bring them out, or dash cams or whatnot. Our main USBs here, so we got two. One I've just obviously popped out down here. Hopefully in the future kits we'll have a switch in there, so that'll actually go into the panel. The other one's into the glove box here that has the 4G modem in it. It's just in there so that obviously you can put a SIM card in it. With reverse camera, obviously this came from when we tapped into those wires, so that's into the purple cable here, cam in, and the green one goes into our orange and black one here with reverse in on it. Obviously FM is into FM. Well, that's pretty straightforward. You'll have a couple left over which you won't need. Just make sure you run obviously all your the wires above this little bracket here, because obviously the head unit's going to sit in here. That's basically everything. So what we always like to do before we put it in any further, turn the car on again. Obviously make sure you have reverse camera, steering wheel controls, which are steering wheel controls we covered quickly before, but what you want to do there is just want to go into all your apps, scroll till you see steering wheel study, and then you can push them. So I'll push volume down now on the steering wheel, and I'll choose volume down. You can do it with a long click as well, but I won't do a long click. Then we'll do next.
Professor Paul Kelly standing alongside Health Minister Mark Butler earlier today.
I'll do back.
A reporter in Canberra, and just to underline what Noor said about the pressure on hospital
mode, which will be on our one. It'll be
Canberra's public hospital
mode, or you can set it up to do different things if you want. It's up to you. Answer phone. Oh, sorry, it's on long. Answer phone onto answer phone. Hang up.
The other big story out
to hang up.
Today, stronger environment laws are expected to land in federal parliament next year. As the government responds,
and just save and exit. So study again. So I could actually change this one. If you scroll down, you got a few extra things here. To app. Now I could actually choose speed play as the app here. And what that is going to actually do, and then I could change long press to be home. What's going to happen there is if I push, it's going to open up sort of CarPlay. We're not connected to it at the moment. If I long press it, it goes home. CarPlay, home. And you can see our reverse images here, and also up the top here. So that's all. Put on the unit lights obviously back in here. I'm making sure obviously the GPS antenna's on, the Wi-Fi antenna's on, all our plugs are in. So we want all these radio plugs obviously to tuck into our top spot up there, and then obviously as you come in you're going to have to put your bottom plugs that you obviously took out back in. So you got your big one on the side there, and she'll just plug back in, and again make sure you tuck all your wires in as you go in. Now what I just want to do now is, before we go any further, is just turn it on and obviously make sure all these buttons here are sort of doing something. So the hazards are working. You can't see there, but the hazards are working. Hazard button. Obviously we've got our aircon, AC, internal air. Just make sure obviously all that is going on and working. So obviously those clips you took off the old one will go back in. and you just mount the unit in like that. There we go. And obviously once you got these two in, you can put on the bottom ones, and then these can now go back on. Make sure they all line up. Other side can clip in. It just went in here. So there we have it, good job. It's your new head unit all installed and working. Probably takes, give yourself a couple of hours to do it. Wireless Apple CarPlay. Steering wheel controls. Factory steering wheel controls will obviously work. Install whatever apps you want on here. Obviously, it does come with some pre-installed. AM FM radio. Factory reverse camera working.